After winning the DRAM and panel wars around 2010, Samsung's Kill Taiwan plan began its final chapter. It targeted Taiwan's two strongest aces at the time, the world-famous Android leader, HTC, and TSMC, which held the world's chip supply. Could Samsung achieve its ambition to dominate tech? And in this final battle for survival, could Taiwan protect its last hope? In Q3 2011, in the US smartphone market, the #1 in market share was not America's own Apple, nor the rapidly rising Samsung of South Korea. It was Taiwan's HTC. Thus, the new king of the Android camp, HTC, became the most fatal threat in Samsung's eyes. HTC's popular phone then was the HTC Desire. Its beautifully colored AMOLED screen was one of the phone's highlights. But Samsung is not just a phone maker. It's also the world's top mobile parts supplier, especially the AMOLED panel used by HTC. At the time, Samsung controlled over 90% of world supply. So what happened? The better HTC's phone sold, the slower Samsung supplied the screens. At first, Samsung's reason was lack of capacity. It said the iPhone 4 was also taking up capacity, plus its own Galaxy S phones needed them too, so it couldn't keep up. But anyone could see Samsung was using key parts to fight a competitor. Eventually, HTC was forced to change the Desire screen from Samsung's AMOLED to Sony's SLCD. Although SLCD was a good screen at the time, it wasn't as stunning as AMOLED. This screen change led to many consumer complaints. Besides choking HTC's hardware supply, Samsung also meddled in online forums. This broke out in Taiwan in 2013, the sensational Samsung WriterGate incident. Hackers and users exposed Samsung Taiwan for paying marketing firms. They posed as users on forums to bash HTC phones while praising how great Samsung's products were. The matter was investigated by Taiwan's FTC, and the evidence was conclusive. The Fair Trade Commission described this behavior as being ambushed. The rival never knew who was attacking. There was no way to fight back. In the end, Samsung Taiwan was fined 10 million NT. The fine may be nothing to Samsung, but the damage to HTC's brand and user trust was immeasurable. Besides Samsung's attacks, Apple also sued HTC for patent infringement. Coupled with HTC's own product strategy mistakes, the former Android king fell. From 2011 to 2013, Samsung's Galaxy S2 and S3 phones appeared. With powerful hardware and flooding the market, Samsung took the global smartphone sales crown. And HTC? Its global market share slid like a playground slide, from a peak of over 10% in 2011 down to less than 1%. Many people know the final outcome. In September 2017, HTC sold its core phone R&D team to Google. For Samsung, removing the thorn that was HTC was just one step in its plan for domination. Beyond the phone battlefield, Samsung had an even bigger headache: TSMC. Around 2011, TSMC dominated the foundry market with its leading 28nm process. Samsung, on the other hand, was stuck at 28nm. Its yield rates were not improving. Worse, its Apple processor orders were at risk due to Steve Jobs' de-Samsungification policy. Seeing the widening gap with TSMC, Samsung decided to take a shortcut, so they targeted TSMC's then R&D chief, Liang Mong-song. He was behind nearly 500 of TSMC's patents, but due to internal promotion issues, he grew resentful and chose to leave TSMC. Samsung seized this opportunity. It made him an offer he couldn't refuse: double his salary and a private jet. And so, in 2011, Liang and about 20 TSMC R&D experts defected to Samsung. What happened next was more dramatic than a movie. In 2014, TSMC was the first to mass-produce 20nm, snatching Apple's A8 processor orders from Samsung. But under Liang's guidance, Samsung made a bold move. It skipped the 20nm process and jumped to 14nm. This risky move put Samsung's 14nm mass production nearly 6 months ahead of TSMC's 16nm. And just like that, the next year, Samsung won back 70% of Apple's A9 processor orders. This cost TSMC over $1 billion. Even Morris Chang admitted at a conference that TSMC's 16nm tech was surpassed by Samsung's 14nm. Of course, TSMC didn't just sit back. They found that Samsung's chip structure showed TSMC's unique diamond-shaped structure. This discovery was evidence of Liang's leak. TSMC then filed a lawsuit. The court ruled that Liang could not work for Samsung before the end of 2015. Besides poaching, Samsung played other tricks. For instance, they knew their 14nm and TSMC's 16nm were the same generation, both improved 20nm tech. But for a marketing advantage, they called it 14nm to sound more advanced. This forced TSMC to rename its tech from 20nm FinFET to 16nm. Despite all the scheming, Samsung's Kill Taiwan plan ultimately failed. Right after the iPhone 6s launch, the global chipgate scandal erupted. Users and media worldwide found that with the same A9 chip, the TSMC 16nm version was more power efficient than Samsung's 14nm version and had more stable performance. As a result, Apple's follow-up orders and the next-gen A10 orders all went back to TSMC. TSMC not only reclaimed lost ground, but also won the market's trust. In 2017, the year after Chipgate, TSMC's global foundry market share stood firmly at 56%, while Samsung's was around 18%. By Q2 2025, the gap became even more staggering. TSMC's market share climbed to 70.2%, while Samsung slid to just 7.2%. Looking back at the whole Kill Taiwan plan, why in the DRAM, panel, and phone battles did Taiwanese companies struggle or even lose, but only TSMC could leave the formidable giant Samsung far behind? The key lies in the foundry model set by Morris Chang: focus on making chips for clients, never competing with them. Samsung is the opposite. It does everything, making chips for Apple while making phones to compete with Apple. One is everyone's partner, the other is everyone's rival. TSMC's success also offers a lesson for Taiwan. You don't have to be a do-it-all behemoth. Just do one thing best, become a trusted partner, and you can secure your place.